Howdy y'all, Los here. Welcome to another episode of Bonsai-YEAH. Today we're here in Pflugerville, Texas for a backyard garden tour with a new friend, Mike Garza of the Austin Bonsai Society. I'm a member too. So without further ado, let's check out his garden, shall we? That's right, we're here meeting Mike Garza.
Hey, how you doing?
It's a pleasure to meet you. Actually, I know you already.
Yeah.
But you guys are meeting him for the first time, and we're in his backyard right now. It is a beautiful backyard.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
It's so well maintained. It puts mine to shame.
It takes a lot of work.
So, why don't you take us around and let's check out some of the cool trees you have, pick out some of your favorites, and let's ask you a few questions, huh?
Sounds good.
Let's do it.
All right.
That's right.
Yeah, so there's definitely different microclimates in my backyard. You know, some that get more sun, some that get less sun. These are some more of my plants that either have been recently repotted or are more sun sensitive. Here's an Arakawa with the rough bark.
Yes. Love that species here.
It's definitely a challenge to cultivate healthy Japanese maples in Texas or in central Texas because of the heat.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's gotten like, I have 50% shade cloth and it still gets burnt. And we're not even into our hottest months. So I'm even thinking I might have to double it up. Yeah. If you look closely, there's still some like of the more fresh, you know, juvenile foliage burning up a little bit because of that heat, you know, so it's definitely, but they're so beautiful and, you know, still keep trying.
You got to keep trying, man.
Yeah.
So what got you into doing bonsai in the first place?
Well, I've always been interested in bonsai, but so when we first bought this house, we went actually to look for some house plants. And when we went to the little nursery, we were I was struck by the little bonsai section, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna buy one of these. So the first one I actually bought was a little Portulacaria, like a baby jade or dwarf jade, whatever they call them. So I bought one of those, and a couple of weeks later, I went to the Austin Home and Garden show, and there was somebody selling bonsai there. He used to have a little like trailer truck that he would like park somewhere over there by Zilker. It was called the Wandering Bonsai. I saw him there and he told me about the club, and I was like, club, wow, you know, and I bought like 2 or 3 from him, and then I went to the, you know, and I just bought like some small little junipers from him, because that's really all I ever thought were, you know, I had ever seen for bonsai, like everybody else with Karate Kid and stuff like that. But then I went to the club and I was like, oh, there's so many other trees that you could bonsai. It's not just these little junipers.
That's right.
And my mind was blown. And with everything else that I get into, I get so obsessed with whatever I'm into at that moment. And it's been going on 5 years now. And obviously you can see that, you know, most people would say that my collection has grown ridiculous for the amount of time that I've been into it. But, you know, that goes along with my obsessive personality, I guess.
Well, you and I are very much the same. I mean, we hop like
150%
dive right into the deep end.
Into it, like, you know, checking YouTube, like, you know, getting into YouTube, getting into, you know, just, you know, all my free time, just, you know, researching and just getting obsessed with it and the tools, and there's just, it's a whole world, you know, and then you realize when you start getting all these plants that there's a whole horticultural part to it, right? And you're like, oh, I have to keep these things alive. So one of my very first trees, like large trees that I got, I actually won at our at one of the raffles during one of the Austin Bonsai Society meetings. And that tree, it was a Blue Alps juniper. It was beautiful. They had an artist from California come out and do deadwood on it and design it real pretty. And of course, I had been into bonsai for like 6 weeks, and I killed it. I didn't know how sensitive, a tree would be after all that work. That tree should have probably gone to somebody that was more experienced, right? But the raffles, that's how you get nice material
for extra cheap.
Yeah. I put in like $5 ticket and I won this probably $500 or more tree.
What is this? Is this a
bald
cypress?
That is a Montezuma cypress.
Montezuma. Oh.
Which honestly, that's what I've been told.
Well, let's see. It's got the leaves, and they're not on the same. They're not opposite. They're alternate. So it's like a bald cypress, but that's not bald cypress bark. So I would guess it's Montezuma.
Yeah, it's probably Montezuma.
It's one of the other. I think there's only 3 other types in that family.
Yes,
if I'm not mistaken. What's the stuff you have on here?
That is fertilizer.
Oh yeah,
it probably is poop. Yes.
BioGold.
That one isn't BioGold. I do use BioGold on my some of my more established trees, but this is also a Japanese fertilizer that's really well. Can't pronounce the name, but it works really well. It doesn't grow really long internodes. And that's why people use BioGold, right? Because BioGold is proven to fertilize your trees, but not have those like super long extensions that like
it's got less nitrogen in it.
Yeah. And it's the type of nitrogen too, like the chicken poop, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like yeah. So the Japanese have perfected it, right? And we're just here trying to do as well as we can.
Yeah, being respectful to it.
Of course.
That is way wicked. Cool, man. All right. Whew, I don't want to get up too fast. I like moving over, and you've got some more over here. Nice, cool little area here.
Yeah.
Oh, and then we met that one last week.
Yeah.
Actually, yes.
Yeah, last week. So this Boxwood was my first urban yamadori. Right over here. This one, when I first joined the club, I was so excited to go on a club dig that I would just go on Facebook or Craigslist to see if people were getting rid of things. And then I finally found something in the middle of June. So it was hot, not the right opportune time, but they were getting rid of them, right? And so I helped Brandon at the time. He wound up doing like all the logistical part of it, but I sent him the link these people are getting rid of trees. We should go on an urban yamadori dig with the club dig. And he was like, okay, well, let's do it. We get there and there's probably over 35, 40 bushes at this one place. So since I was the one that found the dig, so what we usually do is we'll all go, and there was probably 10 members there. We'll dig them all out, and then we'll draw straws or draw numbers to see who chooses first. And since I was the one that found the gig, I was able to choose the first tree, and this is the very first tree I chose for my very first urban yamadori. It's a Japanese boxwood. So this one has a lot of, I guess, sentimental value because that was really like the first tree that I collected, or bush, but now it's a tree.
When did you put it in this pot?
In this pot, I probably put it in there about 2 years ago. So at first it was just like in a growing tub, kind of like
2 years in the tub.
Yeah.
How long was it in the tub for?
Probably like a year. I probably put it in this pot maybe 2 years after I got it. So
cool.
Yeah, it was probably in there 2 years, and then it's been in here now going on 3 years.
Was there a lot of foliage on there, or did you guys pretty much chop this down to twigs everywhere?
Chop it down. You always chop them down to like the last green, right? So like maybe a little tuft of green on each of these branches. And then obviously when I first got it, it was like a lot longer. And then with boxwoods, it's kind of hard. Like a lot of boxwoods will not backbud. Some boxwoods will, depending on, I guess, like their specific like inner species cultivars or something, but a lot of them we wind up having to graft. I haven't grafted on this one. This little guy just popped up like last year, and I was like, oh wow, that's a miracle. Because a lot of times they won't pop, we won't get them to pop out, at least in this area. I've heard up north like boxwoods will backbud like crazy. For some reason here we have to graft if we want them if we want branches in the right places. So I'm going for like the big oak type style on this one. Definitely. It still has a lot of years. I mean, boxwoods are slow growers, so definitely still has several years to go. So there's another species where the roots smell like, man, I can't even work on that tree in the Bonsai Shack. Like I have to bring it out because the roots smell so bad. The huisache, it's a South Texas native. It's right over here.
Show me.
The roots smell absolutely
Let's
horrible.
get a good whiff of these.
Well, I don't know if you'll be able to smell them, but I mean, you can maybe.
This is cool. What is it? It's like a feather acacia. Almost.
Yeah, it's in the acacia family. It's a huisache.
Huisache.
Might not be pronouncing it correctly, but a huisache.
Okay.
Once you take it out and then like you start scratching off all the, like taking off all the dirt or whatever, they just, yeah.
Did you get this, did you dig up this?
So this one was, I actually got from a friend that dug it up in South Texas. Yeah, it was on a trade. Yeah, it is really cool.
What'd you trade for it?
I think we did kind of like a bulk trade. We would do that every once in a while. Like, hey, these are some trees I'm not sure what to do with. With this one, actually, what happened was he was moving out of town and he was only taking a certain amount of trees. And so I may have traded him for like some pots or something.
How do you get a start like here at your place? You're a new bonsai practitioner. You just get into it first time. How does your start end up here where you have nice gravel beds and benches and everything? Where was the beginning?
You want to see I'll show you the beginning. It still looks, you could tell it was a while back.
Okay.
This is the very first bench I owned, right here. Oh, see the baby on the inside. But look at this, deteriorating, coming apart. I still need to get rid of it, but when I first started, all my trees fit on this small bench.
This was your beginning?
This was my beginning.
It had good coverage from the
elements for the most part. The only thing is I don't have gutters, so whatever plant was...
Whatever would rain,
it was always just one plant right here that would lose all its soil.
That's where it's concentrated down on.
One would lose all of its soil every time. And
then from here, you outgrew it. You probably got too many plants, and
from there I grew into the second big bench over here.
The big triple decker over here.
I wound up building that one.
Out. And you built this by hand.
I did.
With your hand and muscles.
Well, We'll use the mussels term lightly, but yeah. So built this one, then realized it was never gonna move. So it's a 3-tier on both sides, all connected together. Or 2-tier, I get. Nope, 3-tier.
Yeah, you
I
got
don't know. It's
3 tiers.
Now, obviously, the trees have changed over time.
Yeah, and you were saying you don't have particular areas, except for things that need shade and everything.
Exactly. So the biggest thing that I usually try to do is try to put trees in my little microclimates, right? Like, you know, stuff that could take all day sun, I'll put in certain sections. Obviously, this section gets a lot of shade, which some trees shouldn't be on here, but then I start running out of space and they go where they can go.
You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, definitely. So like this Bougainvillea probably shouldn't be here. Should be in more full sun. That's why these leaves are so large.
I was about to say, the leaves seem very large.
Yeah, because it's in the shade.
Is this what is this,
This
Chinese?
is a Chinese elm.
Oh, and it's got big leaves.
Also in the shade.
Yeah.
And lots of fertilizer. Just repotted this year. And then of course everybody knows our daily task of doing this that I don't do a very good job of.
Yeah, neither
weeding
do
the
I.
trees.
Yeah.
You know.
There's some great trees here, man. I love the Kingsville
Yeah,
here.
Kingsville Boxwood right there.
That is the fertilizer almost looks like little stones there.
Yeah,
Nice.
well, and that's the biogold.
Yeah.
But it does kind of
Oh
look
right,
like,
the triangular
yeah.
guys. Mm-hmm.
And that pot was made by Roland's wife, Crystal.
Ah.
This olive I actually was my first olive that I purchased off of. I found a guy on eBay selling it.
Really?
Yeah.
And they mailed it out to you and everything?
They mailed it out to me and everything. Yeah. So I think you had a
Trees and
dwarf.
anything.
You had a dwarf cultivar. I think this is like a standard size.
Yeah. Damn, that looks cool, man. Have you ever gone on those Facebook auction sites?
Oh
Do
man,
that all
they're
the
so
time?
dangerous, and I've done it before.
Oh.
Absolutely.
Dangerous. How
Well,
so?
because anytime you're addicted to something and people
Oh,
are just
dangerous like that. Like,
dangerous for my wife, or for me, from my wife more than anything.
Is your wife into bonsai as well?
She is not. She definitely supports my hobby 100%. But she's not like, I'll be like, hey, you want to go weed some trees for me? She's like, absolutely not. It was worth a try.
Yeah, you know, it's worth trying. Always worth trying.
This guy looks like Jabba the Hutt over here. Jabba, Jabba, okay, Jabba. It's an ash. Funky tree.
Ash, huh?
Yeah, at least from what I've been told. There's, you know, sometimes you acquire things and somebody will tell you it's one thing and then it winds up being something else. Some more cypresses.
Another Montezuma, are they all from?
They're all basically from the same place.
Yeah. Cool, man. Yeah, these are one of my favorite ones. Again, with the compound leaf foliage. I love the spreading root bases they can make. Super cool. Oh, look at this.
Oh yeah, kumquat.
Look, baby kumquat there. Yum yum. Cool, dude. Whoa. I like that one.
Yeah, that one it looks like some more may be coming out here, or it's gonna flower, one of the two. From a local bonsai shop, MBP.
Yes, in
Yeah.
Pflugerville. Right down the street?
Right down the street, yep. There's a wisteria. No flowers right now, but
Wisteria, huh?
yeah.
Oh. Have you had it flowered before?
Yeah,
Looks like you
absolutely.
did before.
Purple flowers.
Oh, that is so cool.
Yeah.
Those are some of my absolute favorite ones. Flowering ones, fruiting ones.
Yeah, I would say Bougainvillea is probably one of my favorite ones because they flower, they ramify really quickly. You could kind of let them dry out a little bit. You don't have to like worry too much about watering. You know, they're perfect for the weather here until it starts getting into the freezing weather. Of course, then you need the.
And here's what you were talking about, the roots.
Exactly. This is
You got the grafting tape in there.
Exactly. This is very similar. You can see how I was talking about the grafting tape and then a piece of wire. And then what I'll do is as soon as it sets, then I'll just take it off. And then this just kind of comes off naturally over time.
Wow.
And then you'll see how the rock kind of... getting nice and thick, and I made a...
You ruffian.
Well, what? Yeah.
Dude, awesome. So tell me a little bit about this awesome greenhouse. Now, was this a pre-built kit?
Yeah, so this is a kit that a company here in Texas, I think it's called ETEX Greenhouses. They're based out of East Texas. They are really affordable, and they come and they build them like in a couple of hours. Like, they don't take any of your time. You just have to make sure you have a flat spot for them to put it. They'll put it in the ground. I mean, I'm telling you, they got here probably like at 4 or 5 o'clock, and I was like, you're gonna run out of light. And the guy was like, trust us.
Watch us.
Yeah.
Put a time lapse on
Hold
us.
my hammer.
Yeah. Hold my hammer.
Hold my screwdriver, whatever he was
Wait, now I need that real quick.
Yeah.
And it's really professionally done. I mean, on the inside here, it's got, you know, a temperature control fan here.
Yeah, temperature control fan that I don't have plugged in right now because I don't have anything in here. And it also has a misting system.
It's got a whole misting system in here too.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is I would have so it would be like a street jungle in here.
Yeah. Definitely. I try not to spend any time in here after May because it's too hot.
Yeah. What do you got going on here?
So I had to get rid of these branches because they started hitting all of my trees on the benches over here. As you can see down here, already is doing it again. And I was gonna cut them back, and I did cut them back. And then I started looking at them, and I was like, they got some pretty funky movements.
Yeah.
And I need practice on my air layering, so I was like, let's go ahead and air layer them because I need more trees.
Yeah.
Right.
Because obviously you need more.
Obviously I need more. So this is a red oak, you know, and I just, you know, stripped the bark, added a little bit of some rooting hormone, packed it with sphagnum moss inside like a plastic bag, and then I just put some tin foil around it to help keep it a little warm, you know, from drying out as quickly.
Yeah.
And they're doing, I guess these are still live. They've been there for maybe 3 or 4 weeks now. I'll check them probably at the end of June, you know, because I'm sure even if we decided we can check them right now.
Oh yeah, get in there, Brennan.
I'm pretty sure we don't have any roots yet.
Come on, yeah, show me a root.
But no, don't really see too much yet. But eventually you want to see a bunch of fleshy roots in there, you know, and then once you start seeing those fleshy roots, you know that it's time. You can cut it out and then just put it in a pot with some soil, you know, but they're not there yet. They're very new. So we're just gonna go ahead and leave those.
And it's a free tree, you know?
And it's a free tree. I mean, they were gonna be, it was either
try
to make bonsai out of them or that happens to them.
Turns into that.
Or turns into that. So I was like, why not try?
So now we've got a really cool bench area here with monkey poles.
Yes.
You make these as well?
I did make these monkey poles myself.
They're so cool.
Even the small little tiny one that
even the baby one.
Even probably should have a tree on it, but doesn't. Sorry, shame on me.
Shame on you. With a sweet lava rock there too.
There we go.
I feel better now.
There we go. Yeah.
So this whole little island area,
yeah.
Is this a newer addition to the whole garden?
This is
one of the newer ones?
Yeah, this is a newer part probably during when we were working at home during COVID. This was one of my projects.
That's cool, man.
And myself and my wife. And my wife was actually helping me do all this, not knowing that she was pregnant. You know?
Congrats.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's out now.
Yeah, it's out now. The baby's perfect. She's, going on 17 months old.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
And did you have all these benches or these poles made already?
I made these poles, except for the small, tiny one I already had. As you can tell, it's weathered more.
Yeah, it looks
right.
older.
So these ones were all built for this island.
Cool.
So I wanted like different levels, right? Like, so I think I did like 2 or 3 different sizes.
So great. So anything like real, I mean, obviously we see your pomegranate.
Pomegranate's probably one of my favorite trees in my collection. That one I did put in the show this year. It was flowering, and then you could see the little pomegranate growing.
The one we saw at the show.
Yeah, the one you saw. It's a little greener now, I think. The little guy.
Oh man, is this a dwarf variety?
I don't know.
How big
I
will
know.
that fruit get?
First time it fruits for
Oh.
me. So this tree naturally twists. It's a twisted pomegranate. Twists on its own. One of my favorite species of trees to work on are bougainvilleas. As you can tell, I do have several in the garden. This one I acquired from somebody I met on the Facebook auctions. He was selling some smaller bougainvilleas, and I was like, hey, do you have anything a little bit larger? And he showed me this. We worked out, negotiated a price, and here it is now in my garden.
Dude, so cool. And it looks like, have you been thread grafting
I did
it?
thread graft on there. So if you look right there, the branch is coming, if you come in from the back, the branch is coming from way back here, coming around. So right here, you can see this branch coming all the way around, drilled a hole, and obviously it was before, it didn't have any green on it, it was just little buds. Stuck it through the hole and have been nursing it. So this is an Eastern red cedar. The original styling was done by Todd Schlafer. He's a pretty well-known artist in the States. Unfortunately, I was actually gonna try to put this one in the show, but a week before the show, something, I think boars or something attacked it, and my whole apex died back. So obviously I wasn't able to take it to the show. As you can see, this is all like dying off or dead. And then if you look over here, you can see this little holes.
Any sawdust coming out of them?
I did, and also sap. Like you'll see the sap coming out as well. So there's also a hole over here. I'm not sure exactly. See, there's even sap coming out right there.
So have you done anything to try to treat it yet?
Yeah. So what I've done before is I have like this pick, like a metal pick that's like really thin and sharp, and I'll light it up with my creme brulee torch, and I'll stick it in the hole and
you hear a scream
until you hear a sizzle. You hear a sizzle, and and then you bring it out, and there's like this gooey little worm-looking thing, and those are boars.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How do they get there? Are they?
They
a moth
drill.
or something?
They're a moth. So they drill holes into the wood, and I have an American elm on the other side that they loved, and these holes that they put on those ones, they're like it looks like I drilled a hole with a drill. Like they're perfect circle holes, but they're from boars. Yeah.
How often do you think you walk around your garden a day?
I usually walk around my garden. I work really close. So I come home for lunch. I'll usually walk my garden during lunch a little bit, but then in the evening when I get home and water, I mean, that's really where I'm able to look at every tree and make sure that, everything is okay.
That's good. So we got your bonsai shack here.
Yeah, this is where all the bonsai tree magic happens.
Yeah. Let's check it out.
Yeah, it's a mess right now, but come in. You know,
It's a man's shed here, so
It is a man shed, so obviously there isn't a woman's touch in here.
And did you get this built?
I did get it built specifically to be able to work on my trees in the air conditioning.
That is great. Yeah, and you have an air conditioner system there.
Yeah, lights, TV.
Gotta have a TV to watch.
Watch Bonsai-YEAH videos while I'm working.
But yeah, this is really cool.
This is really where I work. I have my tools.
Nice bench over there.
Nice comfy chair to work on. And did I already mention AC and fan? That is the most important thing in Central Texas. I love being outside with my trees, but when I'm working on one, I don't want to have sweat in my eyes. And,
yeah, I know what you mean.
Woo. But that is the Bonsai Shack.
Wonderful. That's the Bonsai Shack.
Yeah. Here's the other. This is the other Chinese I was telling you about that I'm
You thread grafted?
Thread grafted. So yeah, experimenting with that lately.
These are some real nice ones you got here.
Thank you.
Is that a procumbens?
That is a, give me a second here. Nope, not coming to mind. Not a procumbens though. It is the same one as that John Naka tree, the forest, what is it called? Phomia. Phomia juniper.
Phomia juniper, oh. Looks cool, man.
Thank you.
And did you put the composition together?
I did. I bought the 3 individual trees. I saw that they all had kind of that same little bit of curvature at the bottom. And I was like, I'm gonna make them a little composition. Yeah.
How long have you had it in the pot?
This is going on its 2nd or 3rd year. 3rd year.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Excellent. And then over here you've got wonderful.
This is an Olea.
Olea.
European olive. Mm-hmm. This was a stump cut. You've kind of had some videos on that with Brandon already. Stump cuts that we just drilled or carved and try to make it look like a lace rock. So this guy,
microcarpa.
You know what? I don't.
Tiger bark.
It may be. This looks maybe tiger bark or Benjamina. I don't know. But so let me tell you a story on this one. This tree, actually, this used to be the tree, and it used to be like a big, huge S-shaped ficus with lots of pads. One year it fell over, and half of the pads broke off. So what I did is I made it into a cascading tree. So all the foliage was coming off of these two, and it was beautiful. It looked beautiful as a cascade. So this was basically turned over like this, right?
Yeah.
And this was in a different pot, obviously. Foliage coming down, beautiful, beautiful tree. The freeze happened, thought it was dead. I left it in the greenhouse like over that whole year, and something started growing out of it. So I think this was like a different, like seedling or something, because the foliage is different than the one that was on I think it was like a melon seed ficus.
Really?
Yeah, because the foliage was tiny, tiny, tiny. And then this is
microcarpa.
Yeah, this is different. Definitely.
Has it made any fruit?
No, not yet. So started growing out of it, and obviously even the roots are kind of coming out now
cool.
too.
The aerial roots are coming out.
Yeah,
it's
but
you
know that this is just gonna disintegrate, because this wood's not gonna stay.
They don't stay.
No, yeah.
dead wood on these kind of
Yeah,
trees.
so you can obviously see even back here, it's already kind of falling apart.
Oh yeah, it's got some give to it.
Yeah, definitely.
You could poke your finger right through it.
Yeah, but I thought, I was like, I'm just gonna take it as it is and continuing developing what's come out of it. It's interesting. This is starting to look kind of nice, different. I don't know. It's just one of those things that, you know, as much as I thought this tree was, you know, it's gone through 3 iterations already, you know? Even though I think this is a different tree, but it was in there and I didn't put it there, so
It's
whatever.
pretty cool that
Yeah,
it did that. And then has all these other ones coming out.
That's just coming out.
Maybe it was like rootstock.
Maybe it was. So, or maybe, so one person told me a lot of times back in the day, so this was a really old tree that I got from a bonsai auction in San Antonio. But a lot of people say they would graft the melon seed ficus foliage on it because it was more compact. So
Makes sense.
definitely, who knows? But even then, like even looking at this bark and then this bark doesn't even match, even though this is dead now.
When
But
it did have bark.
Maybe when it did, but it still didn't look the same.
Cool. Yeah, what do you have?
And this not be a part of the video, but a lot of times this is a collected tree, right? And you see how it's so compacted.
Yeah.
In order to get water to really percolate in there, what we do is we build a border around it, and you'll see this on, like a lot of guys do this with different materials. I just did it with Gorilla Tape, and what it'll do is it'll help, because if I start watering like this, everything's just gonna drip over, and it'll start dripping over a little bit, right? But what it'll do is it'll help it really, you know, get soaked into the middle of the tree, because if not, then you're just watering the outside. You know, so that's
it's
that's
not
why
making
this,
its way through.
yeah, I mean because it winds up just spilling over. Obviously, it's not perfect, but it definitely helps with keeping the tree, you know, alive until next year, when I can try to get out at least, you know, maybe a third of the native soil that's in here. You know, because this tree was I didn't collect this tree, but this tree was collected and then just thrown in this pot with its native soil. So
Is this what is this?
this is an ash juniper.
Oh.
So you could tell by the like really thick foliage, but I've always wanted one in my collection, and at the convention this guy was selling them.
Mike, thank you for having us, man.
Thanks for having me.
It was so great, very inspiring. I love the use of a simple material, and it's not overly complicated at all. The gravel, the do-it-yourself benches, it's cool.
Yeah, it's all stuff that like you could get at your local box stores.
And it's great, man, and you take really good care of it. So
Thank you.
thanks for having us out.
Thanks for coming out. I appreciate it.
Thank you guys for watching.
Thank you.
If you like our episodes, feel free to like, share, subscribe, and hit that little bell icon so you're notified in the future. In the meantime, be cool, stay hip, get yourself a hobby. We'll see you next week. Bye.